Hi, good morning, and welcome to the weekly angel reading. I'm Rachel Scoltock. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. A few technical issues. Again, it kept just shutting down on me, but here I am now. Hey, Tyler. Hi, Cheryl, Jody, and Di. Thanks for being here. So today I'm going to be pulling some cards for you from several decks. I've got Archangel Michael, I've got some Power Angel Tarot, and I've also got some that I haven't used before for you guys, which is Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell, which I really resonate. Good morning, Tyler. Hey, Morella. Welcome. We've also got a fly joining us today, but anyway, we'll ignore him. So welcome to the weekly angel message. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and that you relaxed and that you were able to process through this really intense full moon that we had. It really seemed to knock me sideways. I was tired anyway, but I felt like, whew, it was really quite allowing us to sit and just absorb the energy and to recharge our vibes. Hey, Cheryl and Jody. Hi, thanks for your comments. So today I'm talking to you about guidance and why it seems like sometimes our prayers are not answered by the angels. Have you ever had that feeling where you're asking and asking and asking and it doesn't feel like Spirit is hearing, or it doesn't feel as if they're granting your wishes, or even after the fact, maybe you've been praying for a loved one or you've been praying for something for yourself and things don't turn out how you've been asking or hoping that they would. So still Sunday there, is it, Cheryl? Where are you? I realise that this is morning time in Australia, but it's evening in Sunday evening in England and also in the States as well. But thank you for joining us anyway. So you get to start the week a little bit earlier. So we're talking about how to ask for guidance in a way, or ask for our prayers to be answered in a way that triggers a response, and also to help you to let down any fears that you have, to let go of any blocks or defenses you have about asking for your prayers to be answered. Because sometimes when we've been disappointed, it makes us kind of put a bit of a shield up between ourselves and heaven, and that can actually block us from receiving the guidance. So the angels are there with you all the time. You've always got angels with you. I've always got my angels with me. You always have your angels with you, whether you perceive them or not. Remember that they are spiritual beings, entirely spiritual beings. They very rarely manifest on earth as physical beings, so we don't always sense them. And the reason that we don't always sense them and their guidance is because we're not tuned into them. We're tuned into something else. It might be something going on with our family. It might be something that you're busy. It might be that you're thinking about your worries and your fears. And that means that you're not tuned in to the realm of angels. And that's why I always recommend meditation and other exercises to help open your energy so that your awareness expands and that you are aware of your angels more often. So they are with you 24/7. And let me tell you that they never, ever ignore you. They don't ignore your prayers, and they are always listening. They're always wanting to help you. They're always urging you forward. So often when we ask for a prayer to be answered, one of the reasons that we don't get what we think we want is because we have a certain expectation about what that prayer is. So what the outcome is, what it is that we really want. So you might be asking for help with your abundance, with your finances. And, you know, ideally, it would be wonderful if you won the lottery or you had some other kind of windfall. And so you're praying and asking the angels to help you to bring in a large amount of money so that you can create what it is that you want, or you can pay off those bills, or you can buy that house or that car. And you've been asking for years, but nothing happens. Well, one of the reasons for that is that your messages, the prayer answered, is actually coming in the form of guidance. And I say this a lot to my reading clients, is that when we ask for something, often we are answered almost immediately with a message saying, do this, go here, change this, change your diet is often a very common way that the angels will start to work with us. And because that guidance seems either unrelated to what we're asking for, or it doesn't fit our expectations, as in, I haven't won the lottery again this week, then we dismiss that guidance and we don't realize that it's actually a stepping stone that is guiding us directly to the abundance that we want, or whatever outcome it is that you're asking for. So sometimes we have to set aside our expectations, and being humans, we tend to want to know exactly how things are going to work out. So we try to figure it out ourselves in our minds, don't we? So we think, okay, I want to buy this big ticket item. The only possible way I'm able to do that is if I win the lottery, if I win this court case, if I sell my house, if. So we figure it out ourselves. We think, I'm going to do this by doing that. And lots of people think, okay, I'm going to win the lottery. And sometimes people do. Like, sometimes that might be your guidance to buy a lottery ticket. But the angels want you to know that if you stay invested in just winning something or gaining what you want by having a windfall, then often you miss out on an important life lesson, important things that you could be doing that are great opportunities that bring the same thing to you in a different way. So setting aside your expectations is really important when you're asking the angels for help with something. Hi, Phil. Hi, Charlie, Kylie, Ali, and Melissa. Sometimes we say, okay, I know what it is that I want. I just need the angels' help in getting it. So we think that it's going to be a very simple step from here to there if the angels would only help us, get us that job, bring us those clients. And like I said before, bring us the money in a big bag appearing on our doorstep. And that's not the way it happens. Angelic guidance comes one step at a time. And it's like when you're doing a online course. It's only when you've done the first step that the next lesson will come, or when you submit your essay or your assignment, the next assignment will, the next step of direction of what you're meant to do will come. And that's how it works with the angels too. So when we dismiss those steps and we say, okay, that seems unrelated to what it is that I'm asking for, and so I'm not going to do that, we actually then delay what it is that we want coming to us. Now, one thing a lot of people pray about is for their loved ones, maybe someone who's not well, maybe somebody who is going through a tough time. And so we do the same thing. We pray for their healing. We pray for something to happen. But sometimes we don't realize that that person also has free will, and they also have a soul path. So definitely keep praying for your loved ones, whether they're ill, whether they're going through a tough time, or you just want to see them succeed in something. It's really important to pray for them, but to not try to control the outcome of what that prayer is. So a really good prayer, or a really good wish or intention, if you're not into the word prayer, is, let the highest good happen for that person according to divine will and according to their heart's desire. So if you add that to the end of any prayer that you make for someone else, then you're helping them to walk their divinely guided path, and you're also adding extra blessings and extra angels to their life, but you're not trying to get the angels, trying to control the angels and God, or trying to control them in some way, because remember, everybody has got their own free will. So even when it comes to illness and death and dying, we don't have, say over what happens to our loved ones, or even sometimes to ourselves. We can only then pray for peace. And I think that's a really powerful and loving prayer, is to come from a place of, I pray for peace. Let the highest happen. Let this person be able to heal, or let them pass over to the other side in a peaceful way. And that way we're not trying to control. It's kind of like thy will be done. We're not trying to control things. So the other way that we block our prayers is that we ask for things from a place of fear. We ask from a place of not expecting the best for ourselves. So maybe you're asking for something to happen that is maybe not your ideal, but it's all that your limited brain can think of. Or you're asking to maybe if that person could just change and I could feel happier, and then I can stay in this toxic marriage. And so when you are asking from a place of fear, that doesn't align with the energy of the angels, which is unconditional love, and from a place of abundance, not scarcity, and, you know, safety, not fear. So the angels can't answer that prayer. Remember as well, it's about free will. So they can't change another person. Another person has to want to change. They have to want to change and then go through the steps to change. The only person we can control or change is ourselves. And so rather than praying for other people to change so that you can feel better, look at what it is that you need to change. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you stay in a toxic, definitely don't stay in a toxic or abusive relationship or job. But you can pray that something better comes along, or that you have the courage to leave that situation, or just show me, give me the guidance that I most need in order to bring my life to a higher level right now. So rather than asking from a place of fear, scarcity, and limitation, ask from a place of love. Love for yourself and love for the world, love for the universe. So we don't have to buy into other people's toxic behaviors and addictions. Even if we have compassion and love for them, it's really important to have compassion and love for everybody, but we don't have to put up with what they're doing. And that's not coming from love if you're forcing yourself to stay in a situation that is bringing you down, that isn't good for you. So then you have to ask yourself, why am I trying to, you know, squeeze myself into a different shape in order to stay in something that doesn't make me feel good? There must be fear controlling me. So your angels aren't going to be party to that. They're not going to assist you in staying in a limited, small, fearful space. They want you to expand. They want you to grow. They want you to learn about your patterns and overcome them. They want you to find peace, not drama, not fear, not anxiety, not trying to control everything or manipulate situations in order for them to fit for you. It always has to be for yourself, for the highest good, but also your highest good is for the greater good of all as well. And I always say this to people who are having difficulty leaving a tough relationship or a job where they are not loved or respected, is that when you leave, even though it's hard and it might end up being hurtful for the people, maybe they're going to miss you, maybe they're going to be hurt by you leaving. But if you're doing something that is for your highest good, it cannot fail to be for the highest good of other people. And it doesn't serve the greater good or the greater good of yourself or other people if you stay in something and you're enabling toxic, bullying, any other kind of negative behaviors. And the angels won't be party to that, as in they're not going to help you to do that. They'll help you through it. They'll be there supporting you, but they know that there's a higher level available to you. There's a higher version of your life available to you. And they would bring out all of the light to help you to shift from that. And that would be their guidance always. If you were like, okay, guide me in this, they would guide you to leave a toxic situation or start looking for something different rather than stay and enable the toxic situation, if that makes any sense. Let me know if I'm making sense, guys. I'm just... Hey, Belinda, thanks for joining us, and Desley and Melissa. So we're talking about why sometimes it feels like our prayers aren't answered. And the first two reasons were, one, that our expectations are different to the way that the angels answer the prayer. So sometimes we want the bag of money to land, we want the lottery win, we want someone to change, but the angels are bringing us guidance. They're giving us one step at a time. And sometimes it's a tiny baby step that starts to make all the difference. Secondly, if we're asking from fear, we're asking from a place of keeping ourselves small, limited, we're trying to manipulate something, we're trying to turn things around into an agenda of some kind, then the angels won't be party to that, and they'll only help you for your highest good. So the guidance that they bring, again, will be different from your expectations. It will be about making a change. changing the way you're looking at the situation, changing what your prayer is. So always asking for the highest good. And the third way is that it's a kind of a control, an agenda. Sorry, I can't read my own writing here. So we have to recognize that guidance comes to us one step at a time, and it always comes for our highest good, and it's always aligned with love. So if we're trying to control things, which I've already spoken about, we're trying to control everybody, or we're trying to control the way things work out, we're not allowing for divine intervention. We're not allowing for the angels' intervention. They're not like genies, like you just make 3 wishes and boom, 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 and here it is. There is always a co-creation going on, and that is you and the angels working in harmony together to create what it is. And often, you'll be asked to do something that brings you out of your comfort zone. So sometimes prayers get answered really quickly because it is for your highest good. It's something that the angels have been trying to get through to you for ages, and you've only just thought of it and asked for it. And it's a trajectory. It's taking you higher. It's taking you on your life path where you're meant to be. So for instance, earlier this year, I've been praying for ages. I don't mind admitting this. I've been asking to be able to leave town for ages, to go somewhere else. Now, partly that was because I was having some troubles. Secondly, it's part of my dream to go and live in a different area of Australia. And it just wasn't working out. Nothing seemed to work out. So one afternoon, actually it was one morning about 10 o'clock, I started to have a good think about it. And I thought, you know what? At the moment, what I really want is to change my environment. I wasn't enjoying the house I was living in. It just didn't feel right for me anymore. Lots of reasons. So I said, okay, if I'm not meant to do this bigger move just yet, and I'm meant to stay in this town, please help me to find somewhere that is pretty, has plenty of light, where I'm going to feel good, that's close to nature, easy to look after, all of those things. And at 4 o'clock that afternoon, I walked around the corner with the dog. I bumped into someone who had a house for rent. They offered it to me there the next day, and I moved in 2.5 weeks later. Boom. And I had been asking for months and months and months and months about help me to move. And as it happens, this has been a fantastic move for me on so many levels. It's perfect for my work. It's perfect in every way for me. And it's perfect for my beautiful dog, Bear, who is very old. And at this moment, it was a big shift for him to just move around the corner. And so moving him interstate would have been really, really hard on him. And so I'm really glad that the angels weren't answering my prayer of an interstate move at this time, because it wasn't right for my dog, who is, you know, my precious baby. Like, he's 17 years old. So you can see that this is for my highest good, but it's also for Bear's highest good. It's also for my business's highest good, and so therefore my clients. And there's lots of great things are happening as a result of this move. So sometimes we've got to change what we're asking. We've got to change what we're asking for. And if we always put in, bring me the guidance for my next step with my work, with my finances, that is for my highest good, and tell the angels what you want. Tell the angels the things that you're hoping for, how you want it to feel. And your prayer can be answered much more quickly than if you say, give me this so that I can do that. We always think we know how we're going to do the path, but we don't. And when we try to control the house, when we try to figure out the house, very often we get stuck. And it's when we're stuck, we start to blame the angels. We start to think, oh my God, nobody's listening to me. But it isn't anything to do with that. It's because we've stuck ourselves by trying to control the process. So try to detach from how it's all going to figure out. Don't try to tell the angels and spirit exactly the steps that you think you need to take in order to get where you're going. Let yourself be surprised. This year has been full of surprises for me. I've learned things I didn't know I needed to learn. And, you know, part of that is doing these Facebook Lives. Like, I had massive resistance to this, and I did a program with someone who said, you've got to do Facebook Lives. And it's been one of the biggest blessings for me and my clients, because I love connecting with you this way. It's taken away the angst and resistance I had about doing a video. It's just been amazing. So it's a real blessing, and my videos are reaching more people. So we have to step back from how we think we should do things and be open to what comes. And that's why it feels sometimes that your prayers haven't been answered. Hi, Ida, Martin, Kathleen, and Rachel. Hey, welcome. So if you've got any questions about how the angels answer our prayers, or any prayers that you've been asking, the intentions you've been putting out there that perhaps haven't sort of manifested, and you know, ask me. I love answering questions like that when I'm doing a live with you, and let's see if we can workshop it and maybe change what it is that we're asking for. I have to say, sometimes though, the angels are just reminding me that sometimes we block ourselves. We block ourselves because there's the ego. The higher self wants to change. And have you noticed that when you're in deep suffering, you're in a lot of pain, you're in struggle, that's the time when you go, oh, help me, help me, help me, help me. So sometimes, you know, as much as we don't want to live in pain constantly, pain is a catalyst for change, because we surrender. We stop trying to control everything. We go, okay, show me the way. And it's important to ask. Ask a lot. Write it down. Say it aloud. Say it in your thoughts. Keep asking. It's really, really important. The angels don't get bored of you. They don't get annoyed with you. They don't say, shut up. They haven't got egos. They're not judging you. But check in with yourself. Am I blocking myself? Is my ego afraid of change? Am I scared to come out of my comfort zone? Am I making a big list in my head and around me as a wall of things I will not do? Because when we've got things I will not do too much, I mean, you've got to have boundaries, right? Boundaries are really super important. But if you get really prejudiced and caught up in fear and anxiety, remember, fear and anxiety will tune you out from the angelic realm. They won't tune out from you, but you will tune out from them, because it's a different vibration. It's a lower vibration. If you've got a big list of things I will not do, ways I will not change, things the universe has to do for me, then you're coming from that place of defensiveness. You're coming from a place of fear and low vibe, and that is blocking you. So you have to be open. You have to be open. So I'm going to pull you some cards. Nobody's asking me questions. Hey, Therese. Hi, Desley. No, you're right. We never, ever stop learning. We don't. And I think that's because that's why we're here. We're here to learn. And so, and there's no shame in learning. You know, I think arrogance is a block of being able to learn things, because it's the person that thinks that they know everything. And none of us know everything. And none of us know enough to be pessimistic either. There's so many miracles are available to us, and I think openness is the key of being open and being humble and being receptive. You know, the angels they can give us all the guidance in the world, but if you've got your hands over your ears and you're going, oh, la, 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 you're never going to receive it. You've got to be receptive, like a flower opening to the sunlight. So I've got the Archangel Power Tarot deck here. And I've already invoked the angels. And sometimes when I'm working with angels, I get a high-pitched ringing in my ear. And usually it's to underline something that I'm saying, or they're going to drop in some information. And that would happen to you too. So I'm getting that at the moment as I'm shuffling. And I'm also feeling a sense that the angels are singing. And it's not something that I get very often. It's like a choir going in the background. So what do the angels want us to know for the week ahead? Three cards, and let's take one from the Archangel Michael deck, because I can feel Archangel Michael with us. I'm laughing at this card. Okay, so the first card, I usually pull 4 cards when I'm doing a reading for somebody. So the first card is always the present situation. What are we dealing with right now? What is it that needs our attention right now? What is the theme of this reading? And this card is the Knight of Ariel. Now, Archangel Ariel is the angel associated with money, abundance of all kinds, gratitude, and in somewhat, she's about career, but she's sort of about planning your future. So she's also an angel that helps us with clairvoyance as well and being able to see. Now in this card, this is showing an angel and she's planting coins in the ground. It's like putting pennies in a piggy bank, or starting to think up ideas that are going to bring you abundance in the future. And now, as you know, abundance isn't just money. I know plenty of rich people who are miserable. That's not abundance. So, but there's nothing wrong with money either. Don't get into that spiritual, weird snobbery that some spiritual people have about having money. There's nothing wrong with it. We need it. It's the energy of exchange in our world as it is today. If you have found another way of exchanging with missing out the financial process, then good on you. There's nothing wrong with that either, but there's nothing wrong with money. So this is saying there's lots to accomplish, and you might be feeling that right now. I know we're coming to the end of the year and we're not usually thinking about what are my intentions for the year ahead, but it feels like that energy is up right now. What is it that you want to create? Now, 2018 has been an interesting year. There's been lots of leaps forward in lots of ways for people, but there's also been a lot of sorting out, a lot of decluttering, a lot of realizations, maybe some drama. Lots of people being stripped back and recognizing what they really, really want in life through sheer exhaustion sometimes. And that isn't from the angels, that's from what we've created coming to its natural consequence. But the angels are always there to support you and help you. So sometimes we've had cosmic kicks in the butt. This card is asking you to start thinking about planting seeds for what you want to manifest coming down the track. So this might be working on the business that you want to create. It might be thinking about the courses that you want to do. It might be starting to change your thoughts so that you're attracting a higher level of energy. Planting little seeds in the ground about what you want to manifest. Please, please don't get to the end of this year and say, another crap year, can't wait for the next one. What do you think you're manifesting when you think that? I get so cross when I see those things on Instagram and Facebook. It wasn't a crap year. You've learned a lot this year, and you've learned enough that you can plant new seeds. You know, if we keep doing what we've always done, we keep getting what we've always got. There's definitely a change in mental patterns coming for a few of you who are watching. So it's like recognizing those patterns. Oh, there it is again. That's a life lesson. It's time to learn the life lesson. What is it that is coming up? And I am not judging anybody. I have had plenty of my own life lessons that have repeated, but I want more than anything to help and heal you. So recognize, is there something showing up in your life right now which is on repeat and it looks and seems very familiar? What can you do to change your thoughts, your actions, your words, so that you can change that? And that will make way for new abundance and happiness in your life. The block card. You may be feeling at a crossroads. Do I go this way or do I go that way? Archangel Michael is guiding you. So this one, you've got Archangel Michael, such a tatty card, look at it. Archangel Michael is guiding this person who wants to go down the dark road, and he's saying, no, don't go that way, go this way. It's very clear, isn't it? It's like the fork in the road. So where are you feeling like you have a choice? Now you've always got choices. You've always got choices. So be careful not to go down the old road, the road that's made of fear. Again, we're talking about fear versus love. Go the lighter, the one that attracts you, the one that lights up your heart. Don't make things difficult for yourself. Sometimes it's not a good idea to work alone. Sometimes you need guidance, and that's one of the messages of this card. There's no shame in reaching out to somebody to give you advice, especially professionals, because then you don't feel that burden of guilt of like, I don't want to take this person's energy. So you need to really look carefully into things when you're making decisions and make sure that you're not putting yourself back into the same situation you've had before. We've got the 4 of Ariel. Now, Ariel, again, about money and abundance and protecting what it is that you have. It's reminding you to be grateful and to sometimes to use that abundance that you have, so that this is a time of year when people worry sometimes about money, because you've got to, you don't have to, but people are spending money on presents and Christmas and things like that. Feels like an expensive time of year. Don't buy into those kind of messages that people say. Hi, Peter. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Bev. Don't buy into those messages. I used to get messages like this all the time, and sometimes still do. And people say, oh, this time of year, nobody wants to spend money on this, or nobody wants to do that, or, that's rubbish. It's a belief, and you can always change a belief by changing your thoughts. So here it's saying, make sure that you're open to change. Make sure that you're balanced in your spending and your saving, so that you're not getting stuck on either side. And that allows for flow. And it's also recognizing what you have and being grateful for it, rather than being defensive or being ungrateful or unappreciative. So that's a really strong message for you today. I'm getting another whistle in my ear. Now, the outcome card is God is in charge. That means there's divine law. There's always a divine and spiritual law. And so sometimes we have to surrender the things that are difficult. We have to hand them over to God and the angels, to the universe. We have to say, okay, I'm not sure what to do here. Guide me, show me the way, give me clear signs. And we have to do that with an open heart. So sometimes we've got to let go of the outcome of things and recognize that all the things that we think are ours actually don't belong to us. This life is temporary in a physical sense. So when we try to cling too tightly to things, we can push them away, or we can actually lose them. So it's important to let go and to have less of a grip, like let your ego out of the equation, have less of a grip on things, so that what you want can come to you with ease and grace, instead of it being something that you feel like you've got to strive, struggle, judge, lasso down. That never works, because you always end up pushing away what you want. Chasing it pushes it away. Whereas if you become connected, you surrender everything, you're being in the moment and present, you become like a magnet, and especially if you're grateful. So one more card, from the Work Your Light deck. I haven't used these ones before on anyone except myself. Okay, this beautiful card is the mirror. Who or what is triggering you? What's a mirror for you at the moment? So it looks like there's a lot of life lessons. I feel like I've covered about 17 subjects today, but thank you so much for staying with me. Hi, Bev. And for watching. Let me know in your comments if you enjoyed it, what other subjects you'd like me to talk about, if there's anything you want to know. Rather, not a personal reading, but like about guidance of the subjects that we've covered today. Don't forget Angels at Uluru. That's in May 2019. It's the 18th and 19th. It feels like it's 100 years away. It's only 6 months away. And in actual fact, ticket sales have to be sort of pretty much secured by the middle of April. So please let me know if at least you're interested. There's a few tickets left. It's going to be amazing. And I've got some surprises up my sleeve, some cultural stuff that I'm trying to line up for you. But it's going to be an amazing weekend, connecting with angels, connecting with your soul, life purpose, and really tapping into that beautiful energy out there to help you to manifest what it is that you want and to bring through the guidance that you want. So Angels at Uluru, Ayers Rock Resort, 18th and 19th of May 2019. I'll put a link on here so that you can give me sign up for a discovery call, which is a free 30-minute chat about that or any of my programs, including the Rich Radiant Angel program. And we can chat about it if you're interested. So let me know. Have a beautiful week. Lots of love and angel blessings.